Hi there, my name is Kay Moon and I'm a Western astrologer and twin soul channel. And this is a video about the full moon in Leo that occurred on January 28th, 2021, 2:16 p.m. if you happen to be on the eastern seaboard of the United States for twin souls. So this particular full moon in Leo this one's significant. I would say the last new moon, the next new moon, and this full moon are all extraordinarily significant in their framing of what the next year and the beginning of this decade are going to look like. The framing of this, the energy that this gives is a framework for understanding, our place and our role as twin souls in the pantheon of light workers here on earth. It also provides a bit of a framing for some of what we're called to do in our service work, and a framing for our what our role is on earth at this time. I'm not going to get into a lot of that here. All of that information is in the Lightworker energy updates for this period of time. So if you haven't watched those, I highly implore you to, especially if you're in a place of kind of rabbit holing and spinning inside of your connection. The Lightworker energy updates will help ground you into a larger understanding of who you are at this moment in a world that is deeply changing and needs your light very dearly, very desperately at this time. So if you haven't been watching those, I'm going to invite you to do so now and continue to do so. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Please subscribe. It's always wonderful to have new subscribers here. In this video, I'm just going to cover what's happening for the divine counterparts. But as you know, for those of you who are on a twin soul journey, it's never just about you, because the two of you are involved in healing and transmuting energy for the collective of people that you're most directly connected to, specifically your family line, as well as your community. And so to better understand how this is unfolding for the two of you in context, those videos provide that information. This is just going to focus on kind of the what's what within, but to get the what's what without and the full picture, those videos have it for you. So check this out. At this time, we have Jupiter opposite the full moon. Here we go. Here's Jupiter. That's the energy I read as the divine masculine energy. Here's Jupiter, Sun, Saturn, all sitting together. And here's that full moon there in Aquarius. We also have a square to Mars, Lilith, and Uranus. They're all sitting together in the sign of Taurus. And then we have a sextile to Chiron sitting in the sign of Aries, and a sextile to Juno, whom I read as the divine feminine, sitting in the sign of Sagittarius. Put this all together, and what you have for divine masculine energies, and it's understood that we all have both, is a real call toward higher service and a real energy internally of recognizing where I need to change. What do I need to do? How can I be more personally accountable for the things going on in my life? How can I take responsibility for the outcomes that I'm personally experiencing in my world? Where that's not happening, you're gonna find, it's interesting. There's this nursery rhyme. I don't know why nursery rhymes are in my head right now, but not a nursery rhyme. It was like a children's fable I mentioned in the Lightworker energy update about the emperor has no clothes. Now there was this Farmer in the Dell nursery rhyme for American children. There's this part where uh, the cheese stands alone. And that's what popped into my head, is this idea of the cheese standing alone, where the divine masculine energy is not being congruent with accountability. He's going to find himself extremely alone at this time. Um, and it's a necessary step. Some of it is self-isolating with the Saturnian influence on Jupiter here. And some of it is very much the community pulling back and going, you know what? I can't be around that energy or with you in this way anymore. And depending upon where you are on the globe and on planet Earth, you're also seeing some of this playing out culturally and politically, where there has been, just manipulation, where there has been misuse of divine masculine energy and divine masculine power, and where that individual is attempting to continue on that path, you will find this is a period of time where the cheese stands alone. There's this, like, everyone else may start to pull back. And this is by divine design, because what Saturn brings to the table is this energy of cleaning up what doesn't serve us any longer, of separation from things that compromise who we are, of discipline, and how to put it, the restoration of wholeness by removing things that have compromised our wholeness. And so, in places in your own divine masculine energy where you have found, look, this just isn't working for me. This relationship, this use of a substance or an addiction, this, set up at work, this particular house or home living circumstance, whatever the thing is that just hasn't worked for you in a long time, isn't working for you, this first 6 months of 2021 and the last 2 months, or last month, I would say, of 2020 would have been a period of time where the light bulbs would have gone on. And now that Mars motivation and Uranus revolution are sitting together, speaking in harmony to our divine masculine energy, this would be a period of time where you're going to start to see yourself wanting to make a break, make a breakthrough, make a breakaway from things that have really been compromising who you are. So, if the cheese is standing alone, that might be okay, is what I'm trying to say. It might actually be the right thing for the cheese to do at this time. In the 2020 Divine Masculine Energy Update and channeled messages, which my guides really told me spanned the process that Divine Masculine Energy would be in through 2024. And it's linked below all of these videos. So if you want to go back and listen to it, it's very easy to find. In that energy update, or, that kind of channeled message set, they described a process where on the road to full union with the world, there would be a pocket of time where there was union with self. And during that period of time, you might find yourself being and feeling very quiet, needing a lot of space, disinterested in a lot of external engagement. And I believe my guides had reminded me during that pocket of that transmission to say, look, divine feminines, this just isn't about you. So if they pull away, need space, or taking time, or doing their own thing, learning their own lessons, understand this isn't about you, and it's up to you to heal your own wounding if you're taking it personally. It's not for them to do anything with, it's for you to do something about. So if this is a period of time in your own divine masculine energy where you're going, okay, yeah, I need to keep my head and my heart space to myself for a bit. So work through some stuff, think about some stuff, deal with some stuff, explore some stuff, then by all means do it. That's certainly what this is talking about. There's also an energy here of, wounding coming to light for divine masculine energies. And it's been the case for the greater part of about, I'd say 6 months, where there's just this recognition of some of the wounding to your selfhood that may have come forward. A big piece of this would have been wounding that came through your connection or concept of mother and mom and whoever she is to you, whether she was there, not there, great, not great, abusive, not abusive, loving, not loving, whatever it was. There's a real recognition among divine masculine energies around any concepts that they have seen themselves play out with women, that the root of some of that may have come through their original perception of who their mother was and why she was that way, or maybe not why just yet, but just the fact that that was the root, and that it's up to them at this moment in time. There's a real recognition, like, yeah, that was my mom, and like, I'm still responsible for this life. She may have created the wound, but I'm responsible for its healing, for not continuing to walk around wounded. And so, this may be a period of time, a continuing period of time for you in your divine masculine energy, where you're starting to come to terms with, look, what do I need to do to not continue to walk wounded through life? That's going to be a continuing theme through 2021 and the coming years for all of us, not just divine masculine energy, but for everyone on planet Earth, but specifically for divine masculine energies in 2021, the early parts. That's a theme that's definitely coming up. And the other piece here that I would also say is the relationship here to the divine feminine from where the divine masculine sits. With the divine feminine sitting here about to go retrograde back and forth with the south node, the divine masculine sitting in a harmonious placement to her. It's not the most harmonious, but it's definitely harmonious if two people are willing to work at it, talk to one another, overcome pride and fear. This energy here gives two things. It provides the divine feminine access to the firmament surrounding divine masculine energy to send and transmit healing in an extraordinarily powerful way. It also provides divine feminine access because the way she is sitting to Chiron, she can transmit the healing. It also provides a lot of access for the divine feminine to do some internal past life work herself. And we'll come to that momentarily because this is a huge year for past life work for divine feminine energies. Very significant period of time. But, and if, this is where, how do I say this? In the update that was about how to navigate the 2021 union window, because it's big. It opened, in December, November for some, and for some people, and it stays open through April. And then it becomes very loud again at the end of this year in November and December. This particular energy, if, your counterpart hasn't red lighted you, meaning they slow down communication, stopped communicating with you, if your counterpart hasn't ghosted you, if they haven't told you specifically, don't contact me anymore, if none of those things have happened, but you guys are not communicating at all, this is a pocket of time, especially with Mercury about to go retrograde, where communication can get restored, where there's an opportunity to reach out. I would say that it's incumbent upon the divine feminine. She's the one entering the portal from the south node to reach out. But I can also see here with Mercury preparing to go retrograde over the divine masculine, he might reach out as well. But this is about, I would say, the Mercury retrograde, 3-week period. Juno talking to the south node, certainly the month of February. It gets loud again in the month of June or July. But this pocket of time of restoring communication, restoring connection, comes because of Chiron's placement here with a ton of healing for both counterparts, laying to rest old wounds, acknowledging where, I was walking wounded in this relationship, and then my wounds just caught onto your skin, and I'm sorry I wounded you with my wounds. That kind of communication will go a long way in laying new foundation between counterparts at this time. I talk a lot at the end of the Lightworker Energy Update video about how and why. So I'm not going to get into that here, but it just suffice it to say that, this is the period of time, a huge period of time and opportunity for amends making between counterparts. The last message coming through for divine masculine energy itself had to do with honor and integrity. And honor, not so much, integrity more so. Now, a lot of people think about the idea of integrity or being in integrity as walking your talk, doing what you said you would do. But if you actually look up the etymological roots of the word integrity, you'll find that at the root, the most early usage of that word came with the understanding that it meant wholeness, completeness, something that has all of its parts. And where the divine masculine has found that he has compromised his parts, if you have found as a divine masculine energy that there are things you have been doing and engaging in that have just put holes in your aura, put holes in your soul, put holes in your bank account, put holes in your and fractures in your mind and in your thinking, you're going to find that this period of time is where you start the process of wrapping up and completing those kinds of interactions with people. Okay. So, a couple of things about that of note. I've had several clients come to me and say that, my divine masculine pulled away sharply. He's married, I'm married, and he pulled away sharply at the start of this year. What's going on? We've, had a, beautiful connection. I thought we were working towards union, but now he's not talking to me at all. Some of that has to do with an inability to be split at this time. Remember, Saturn's call to all of our lives is to get out of splitness and into wholeness, to remove things that compromise us or compromise our ability to be whole. And if in some way he found himself splitting himself, or as a divine masculine energy, you find yourself just not being full or whole, you may find that at this time, you're just not able to continue circumstances that do that. You kind of need to put yourself in all in one place or all in the other place, but no longer continue to operate both simultaneously unless that is in integrity and wholeness for you. Likewise, I've had others of you come to me and say, me and my husband are opening up our marriage to include my divine masculine, because that's what's going to make me whole. My husband wants me to be whole. And this love is a part of me that I can no longer deny. So we are now coming to wholeness that way. And I've had even others of you come to me and say, my counterpart and I are coming together. we are starting the process of figuring out how to be in a relationship, and it has been hard because there's just a lot of change still to go through, and a lot of transition to go through as we both start to wrap up processes that compromised our wholeness. So, whatever it is, as Jupiter transits with Saturn during this first part of the year, there's a significant call to wholeness. And whatever is going on in your connection, however it looks, it's happening in divine order. It is happening inside of wholeness and integrity. It is happening as a response to the universe working with you to get you toward wholeness again. Okay. So, even those of you, I want to just speak very quickly to the 2021 channeled messages because there are a segment of you. You guys aren't the largest group, but there's a segment of you who are moving into a cycle of feeling of the twin connection coming to deactivation, or like an energy of pulling out of the connection. Your heart has moved into neutrality around the connection, where there's just not so much energy in the connection for you anymore. Even that is happening inside of the context of what's going to make you whole. The reason that this is divinely timed at this moment is because in 2023, the very beginning, we have a meetup of the divine counterparts in the sky. They only meet up every 6 to 8 years, so it's not frequent that this happened. The last time it happened was early 2014, sorry, 2015. When they meet up in the sky, there is this the universe just kind of pushes twins together. It just pushes them toward one another. And so, if you're moving through a period of time where there is this energy of separation, and I'm really conscientious of how hard that can be when you can hear about so many other people starting to come into union at this time. Understand that the separation energy is for your integrity. It is for the restoration of your wholeness. It is for your greater good, because this union window, when it opens, you need to have a vibrationally clean slate for what is to come during that period of time, whether that's a resurfacing of your twin at that juncture or someone else holding twin energy with you. That period is coming, and this period of time is a necessary step in the larger process. Okay. So I wanted to make sure I addressed that because I know that can be extremely difficult. But I also recognize that there's just, with this energy of Saturn and Jupiter coming together, speaking so harmoniously with Juno, there's just another portion of you that are really starting to move into deeper communication, deeper clarity about why things may have gone the way they've gone in the past, deeper wholeness inside of your connection. The spiritual union energy may start at this time to manifest as material world union for some of you. And this is just, it just divine timing, both of you doing your work, choosing it. I have seen this kind of energy come and go for twins who have been in separation for 2 decades. And both of them just continue to push it away and push it away and push it away. So, what you do with this is really going to be up to you guys. There is no cataclysm astrologically that's going to drag you into union. You guys have to be choosing it. So, whatever is unfolding at this time, just trust that it is part of the higher plan. Trust that it is in integrity. Trust that it is for your wholeness. And trust that it's going to continue in unfoldment in the years to come. Let's talk about what's going on for the divine feminine. Um, so here she is talking with the South Node, as I mentioned. There is a portal access point here where there is the opportunity to go into past lives, heal certain things. If you've seen, traumas from past lives and you know how to provide healing transmissions, you can go in and provide healing for those timelines and for that aspect of your soul and your counterpart soul. You can also, with this energy, you may feel a bit pushed or pulled to reach out. I can't force you to honor that push or pull, but if you're feeling it, I would say honor it, trust that it's in integrity. Um, you know, Ignoring those kinds of pulls are ways that we kind of override our own union with our own free will. So, I can't guarantee people are coming into union or that people won't, because free will at the end of the day is the trump card here. So there is definitely a jump start here for the divine feminine to move into being present in her counterpart's life, but I can't force you. So do with that what thou wilt. With the conjunction with the South Node, there's a square to Neptune and Nessus here, and Ceres. And so I've mentioned this kind of before, but there's definitively a bit of there's motherhood energy here with Ceres being in the mix for sure. I've spoken to that. There's also, mm, yeah, this is interesting. For some of you who are divine feminines, who are coming into union at this time, you may find it helpful. And this is an exercise I took on last year in my own connection. You may find it helpful to provide healing for your counterpart's mother and matrilineal line. You may find that you need to provide healing to your own mother and her mother before her and your own matrilineal line. The energy here between Pisces and Sagittarius and the way this is breaking down, my guides are really kind of talking about, the necessity of transmuting karmic and ancestral bondage and cleaning up karmic and ancestral bondage through the matrilineal lines here specifically. There will be other times where it's all about cleaning up stuff with the father's line, but this particular time is about providing healing to the mother's line. And so for those of you who know how to do those healings, those of you who have healers you work with for that, this is a great time to, get an SRT for your mom, for their mom. Do a healing of some sort for the bond, the karmic cord between you and your own mother, that kind of thing. As the more you can do that, the more it just starts the process of freeing divine feminine energy up to operate in higher light work. This energy, this square energy here, is talking about how there may be some level of unseen challenge from the mother lines to the divine feminine, that the divine feminine does have access to healing if she's willing to do the work. So I put that out there for you guys. Do what you will with that. Yeah, and I talked about the energy between the counterparts directly. So lots of juicy stuff here in this full moon. Like I said, if you're really serious about doing the work, the where the work lives is inside of the Lightworker energy updates. That's where I really go into what it is you can do with yourself to facilitate anchoring the energies you need in order to keep moving forward and call forward love and union in your own life. These energetic updates with just the divine counterparts only provides a snippet, a portion of that. It doesn't provide any context or any greater understanding. So, um, it's like half of a story. The full story is, when you listen to both. So, if you're new, please subscribe if you found any of this resonating for you. I understand that, my guides told me a while ago that this period of time, December, January, February, would mark a bifurcation in the timelines for counterparts where, some would start moving directly into union, others would move into a period of time of pre-union kind of energies where there was just like clarification of the work that needs to get done. And then others would start the process of clarifying, am I dealing with an ascension partner versus a twin versus a soulmate? Clarification would start to arrive at this time. And this would be a preparatory time for many who are wrapping up ascension partner connections, preparatory time for a twin soul to arrive in the coming years. So, I'm doing my best to try and make sure all the messages for all the groups get delivered because they showed me a pretty big split in what people would be going through. So hopefully you found something in here that resonated for you. What did not resonate for you, leave it. It wasn't for you. It was for somebody else. Okay. So don't try to force what's not for you to be for you. Vitamin D is, yes, necessary, but not everyone needs a vitamin D supplement. So don't try to take what's not yours and make it yours, okay? Use your intuition. Use what your guides have been showing you for your journey. Utilize this to just validate your own intuition as opposed to tell you or override your intuition. All right, beloveds. Thanks so much for liking, subscribing, watching, and sharing. I look so much forward to the next new moon where we get to do this all again. Take great care and bye for now.